Alright, Shalom. Before I get started, we give all the praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Mashim, Yahweh Shai, Mashim, Chagadash. To give me the spirit and strength to go into this lesson. And also double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that still rule well and that still teach well. By Shem Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh Shai, by Shem Chagadash. Why it's like why Barakim to the elect, beginning with the 144,000, which is scattered abroad and in every place, redeeming the time, ready to be saved. Shalom. Alright, we want to pretty much go into terrible times that we're in, man. Alright, that we're about to experience. Okay? And Yahweh Shemal Shai is gonna use our enemies to bring this hell, all right, this holy hell, okay, just like he has always done. You know, in the past, the Lord used the heathen to bring hell upon Israel, okay, and we're seeing that beginning stages of that now. You know, you have ICE, you know, they still out here reporting, you know, the northern tribes, okay? But you see what I want to get into the depth of the hell that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is going to use Esau to bring upon, you know, Israel, man. All right? Because a lot of people don't get it, man. You know, Esau, the so-called white man, they get off on bringing pain, all right, especially to you Jakes, man. They get off on that, you know. Matter of fact, let me get this right here. Book of Psalms. Book of Psalms. Psalms chapter 73. It's the book of Psalms chapter 73, verse 6. It says, "Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain." And it's talking about the Edomites. Alright? It says, "Violence covereth them as a garment." You see? Violence covereth them as a garment. You see? So they get all into that, alright? That type of, you know, stuff, man. Like torturing people. Okay? You know, you know, and it's something that they're good at, you know. You watch these different horror movies, and you will see that, right? 9 out of 10, you see a movie, you know, like The Hostel, the movie Saw. Who's the one that's doing the torturing 9 out of 10, it's an Edomite. You don't see Jakes getting into that type of shit, man. Alright? It's these Edomites, these so-called white people, man. They get all into that. Alright? But then again, it says, they therefore pride compassing them about as a chain. Violence covered them as a garment. Alright? You know? They get real deep into the, you know, violence. Alright? You see? So, and they're known for getting into torturing Jake, the Israelites. You know, you go into examples like Maccabees brothers, right? Well, you know, that's going, you know, like they say, history repeats itself. All right, so we're going to witness that again, man, because the scriptures talk about, you know, even brothers, the righteous, are going to be, you know, martyrs. And you know that you know. But, you know, you're going to have a lot of these wicked Israelites, they are going to be tortured. Okay? They are going to be tortured. Alright? And I want to get this right here in Isaiah chapter 19 and 4. It says, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. Now the Egyptians today would be known as Americans. Right? Because this place is spiritually Egypt. Alright? It says, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. Alright? Now, that cruel Lord is already been understood that is Trump, your current president. Alright? It says, I will give and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord of hosts, the Lord of armies. Alright? So I'm going to get that word cruel real quick. Alright, cruel. Alright. Alright, it says cruel, willfully causing pain or suffering to others, or feeling no concern about it. Alright? And that fits Trump to a T. Alright? You know? That fits Trump to a T, man. So this definition of this cruel Lord. And he's going to, and like I said earlier, he's already beginning to do that, you know, by sending out these ICE agents, you know, to get, you know, to gather up these, the northern tribes. You know, it said willfully causing pain or suffering to others. You know, he's starting with, you know, cutting the SNAP benefits. You know, raising the cost of living, this inflation. You know, so on and so forth. All right, and it's gonna get worse. He's going to get worse. All right. So I'm just going into what it means because, like you said, he's going to give you Egyptians over to a cruel Lord. A lot of people don't understand what that means. All right? They're going to bring the guillotines back. All right? You see? And like I said, this fits Trump. All right? Look at Revelation. Revelation 12 and 12, it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. Right. So we got to see this great wrath, and we believe it's going to happen while Trump is in office, because, like I said, he fits the bill. All right. He's definitely that cruel Lord. All right. You see, so he's going to be giving orders from those that are over him. You know, they're setting up these concentration camps. All right, and in those concentration camps, they're going to be torture domes. All right, you know, so you're being warned. All right, because when you go into history, you know, matter of fact, you know, it's heavy, because when you go into history, you had Caesars, emperors, Roman emperors that got all into, you know, torturing Jake. All right, and I can name three. You know, one was Tiberius. When you go into history, you know, you can look it up. You know, one was Tiberius. Another was Caligula. All right, and and the third, I believe, was Nero. And guess what? Nero is back in office today, known as Donald J. Trump, man. All right? He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. All right? You know, it was said that Caligula, Tiberius, and Nero, they got creative when it came to torturing, you know, people, man. Chiefly Jake, the Israelites. They got creative. Matter of fact, it was a term that they used. It said that they were ingenious, sadistic torturers. Go look that up. They were ingenious, sadistic torturers, man. All right? Sadistic meaning, you know, passion, pleasure was derived from inflicting pain on others. In other words, they got pleasure from torturing others. All right? And ingenious means to be, you know, skillful or creative, you know. So, in other words, when it comes to torturing people, they got creative. All right. Matter of fact, let's go into the history. All right, because like I just read, the devil was gonna come down with great wrath, and it's not gonna be pleasant, man. All right. They finna start, hey, like it says in the Apocrypha, those that live on the earth shall die in a great number. You know, Esau is gonna play a big part in that. It's just gonna be just unaliving people. All right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get two scriptures from Isaiah 13. It's Isaiah 13, verse 14. It says, "And it shall be as the chaste roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up." Woo, you see that? "They shall every man turn to his own people, and flee every one to his own land. Every one that is found shall be thrust through." You see that? Everyone that is found shall be thrust through. So that you see, they're just gonna be just unaliving people. All right, you know, everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. All right. Now, we get Psalms 19:17. It says Psalm 17. Verse 11, it says, "They have now compassed us in our steps. They have set their eyes, bowing down to the earth." Yeah, bowing down to earth mean they're waiting for the opportunity to strike. All right? It's talking about the elites. All right? And they're likened unto a lion. Right, they're focusing, focusing on their prey. All right, bowing down to the earth, meaning, that they're waiting for the right time to attack. All right, it says, "Like as a lion that is greedy." See, there you go. "Like as a lion that is greedy of his prey." You see? "And as it were a young lion lurking in secret places." You see that? "Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down. Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword." You see? Which is thy sword. See, he's the instrument, the slaying instrument that Yahweh Shema Shai is going to use, that he's always used, and he's going to continue to use. You know? It says, "From men," let me read that again. It says, "Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down." Right, because they are exalted. They have a prominent position. They have the earth, right, in their possession. All right, it says, "Deliver my soul from the wicked." Who are the wicked? Malachi, the first chapter. That's Esau, Edom. He said, "Deliver my soul from the wicked." Why? Because like I just read, they are coming down with great wrath. All right. He said, "Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword." All right. So he's going to use them to slay. All right, and the elect will be delivered from that, but those that are not of the elect will be caught up. It says, "From men which are thy hand." You see that? "O Lord." You see? He said, "From men which are thy hand, O Lord." You know what you do with your hand. You bruise. You hurt. All right. You know. It said, "O Lord, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life." In this life, you see, the elites, "in whose belly thou fillest with thy head treasure. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes." Right, it's an inheritance. All right, so the Lord is going to use them to slay these people, man. Matter of fact, like I said, let me get this right here. Going to a little history. You know, ingenious sadistic torture. It says, throughout history, various cultures and regimes have developed numerous methods and devices for torture, many of which considered both ingenious in their design and sadistic in their application. These methods often combine physical agony with physiological torment, humiliation, and public spectacle. All right. Now, when you go down, it says, gives you examples of those. All right. Sloppy. Wait a second. All right. Okay, yeah, here we go. Slocky. But, you know, like I said, you have the Emperor Tiberius, Nero, and Caligula, known for, their passion for torturing Jakes. All right, it says Emperor Tiberius, who ruled from 14 to 37 AD, was known for the isolated and perverse nature of his cruelty. All right, because also these, they were also known for, having sex with, like Caligula, he was known for having sex with his horses, and that's another lesson for another time. But that's what perverse nature is. It says, and perverse nature of his cruelty, often conducted in his retirement on the island of Capua. Right? All right. Let's see. There's a lot of them. Well, you know what? Let me get Nero, since he's in office, right? Back in office today. All right. Let's get him. All right. Nero, Emperor Nero. Nero is historically infamous for his violent streak and specific horrific methods of punishing those he deemed enemies. All right, particularly Christians. Yeah, which was the prophets. And let me read on. It says Roman candles. All right, what is the Roman candles? We're finna find out. It says victims, often Christians, all right, which is talking about us, Israelites. Victims, often Christians, would be tied to stakes in his gardens, covered in flammable materials like pitch or oil, and then set on fire to serve as a human torches during his evening parties. All right? That's terrible, man. So that's what the Roman candles were. All right? Was you Jakes being set on fire while you were bound to a pole and served as torches, human torches. That's crazy, man. Alright, it says spectacle. He said the primary ingenuity of Nero's cruelty was the theatricality of the torture, turning human suffering into a public light show for entertainment and demonstration of absolute power. Alright? So, you know, and he got pleasure. He got pleasure from that. All right. Once again, you know, they are known for being ingenious, sadistic torturers, man. You know, they would get creative. And when it comes to torture, and we finna see that again, because this is Nero. I just read and gave you an example, and went into that, you know, historical information. All right, and this guy is back in office. This guy, the one we just read about, and history repeats itself. So what you think he gonna do this time? He gonna get creative again. All right. So once again, when you read Isaiah 19:4, it says, "And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. Whew. And a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord of hosts." So this is what that means. Alright? He's going to show you how cruel they are. Alright? You know, so let me end it off on this. In the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel 21, verse 8. It says, Ezekiel 21, verse 8. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy. All right? And that's what we're doing. And, you know, this is what we're doing. You know, this is the main topic that we should be entertaining, is prophecies. All right? All right, it says, Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord. Yeah, because this is his words. You know, like it says in the Apocrypha, 2nd Ezra says, Speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I shall put in thy mouth. All right? It says, say, a sword is sharpened and also furbished. Alright? Now what is that sword? That sword goes into destruction, slaying. And it said it's sharpened, being sharpened, meaning they're rehearsing, you know, they're rehearsing these terrible acts. You know, martial law. All right, you know, like I said, bringing the guillotine, feeding you. They're gonna go back to feeding, people to animals, wild beasts. All right. So they're rehearsing it. It says, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. You see that? A sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? Right. Should we then make mirth? Yeah, people only knew what was coming. Shit, they wouldn't be partying, They be trying to get the hell out of here, man. All right, it said, should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree. All right, who's the son of the Heavenly Father? Yahweh Shai. You see, he's even in the Old Testament. All right. So you say that the Old Testament is irrelevant. Okay, Lord Yahweh Shai is in the Old Testament, man. It says, and he hath given it to be furbished, right, that it may be handled. The sword is sharpened, and it is furbished. Yeah, it's ready. Okay? Yeah, they're getting it ready. They're getting it ready. Salaki. They're getting it ready. It says, let me read that again. This sword is sharpened and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. Right? Who is the slayer? Esau. Alright? You see? And it's been given unto him by who? The Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai, man. Alright? It says, cry and howl, my son of man. And that's what I'm doing right now. Beginning with, along with the apostles and elders on down. Alright? It said, cry and howl, son of man. For it shall be upon my people. Yeah, you Israelites. It shall be upon all the princes of Israel. Yeah, these noble jakes, these celebrities. Alright? It says, it shall be upon all the princes of Israel. Terrors by reason of the sword shall be upon my people. Smite therefore upon thy thigh. You know what I mean? To get all into this when we're warning you. We get all into it. Right? So, hey, be prepared and get ready. Because, like I said, like I just went into, Nero is back in office. He's back and he's going to do what he's done in the past. Alright? So yeah, man, Lord willing, that was edifying. Until next time, Yahweh Shai, Bashim Kakak, Thumb, Wa, Abba Ba, Kwame Shawala, Shalom.